A new AQUADOME for aquatic performances with a massive waterfall, 28 different types of rooms to choose from, and 2,800 plus cabins, the largest pool at sea, and an entire water park. Honestly, that is just a taste of what Royal Caribbean unveiled with the introduction of its newest ship under construction, Icon of the Seas. The first ship in the all-new Icon class. Icon of the Seas takes Royal Caribbean's push to always offer the biggest and most innovative experience at sea and puts it on steroids. With the new details just released after months of being teased by the cruise line about what was to come, we finally have an idea of what passengers can expect when the ship enters service in 2024. Here is what is in store. Let's start with the size of this massive new ship. Royal Caribbean, they already lay claim to the largest cruise ships in the world with their Oasis class vessels. Wonder of the Seas, which first sailed in 2022, is currently the largest cruise ship on the planet at about 236,000 gross tons. Icon of the Seas will come in even larger. A fact sheet shared by Royal Caribbean says that the ship will be 251,000 gross tons. Will also measure nearly 1,200 feet and carry 5,600 passengers at double occupancy. A max capacity for the ship comes in at a whopping 7,600 passengers. Water slides on a cruise ship are a must these days. And on most ships, you might get 2 or even 3 different slides if you were lucky. Icon of the Seas will feature a whopping 6 different slides in its Category 6 water park. This includes the Frightening Bolt, which at 46 feet, the cruise line calls the tallest drop slide at sea. There will also be the Pressure Drop, which will be the first open freefall slide on a cruise ship. Families, they can enjoy the Hurricane Hunter, which is a family raft slide where 4 people can ride at once. Renderings of the water park, they show an unreal amount of slides, and it certainly looks like nothing else that I've ever seen on a cruise ship. The water park is a signature of Icon of the Seas, but there's still a lot more to do for those that want some adventure. The Flow Rider, of course, it makes an appearance in the renderings. Splashaway Bay is also there for smaller kids who still want to get wet. The climbing wall is also on the ship, but for the first time, Royal Caribbean is introducing something called the Crown's Edge. The cruise line, they describe this as, quote, part skywalk, part ropes course, and part thrill ride. From the looks of it, you're strapped into a harness, and then you have to navigate a ropes course above the ship. But then, as the course moves out over the open water, there is suddenly no more floor, and passengers take a ride in their harness more than 150 feet above the sea. Aboard the new ship will be a staggering 7 different swimming pools and 9 whirlpools, meaning even with tons of people on the ship, there should be a spot to lounge or swim for yourself. But of course, Royal Caribbean had to offer up the biggest and the best for Icon of the Seas. In this case, the cruise line is introducing Royal Bay, which will be the largest pool on a cruise ship. In addition, there will be Swim and Tonic, which is the cruise line's first swim-up bar on a ship, and there will also be the Cloud 17 area, an adults-only spot with the Infinity Edge Cove pool. In the new Surfside neighborhood, which is an outdoor pool and splash area made for families, the grown-ups can hang out in one pool while watching the kids in Splashaway Bay, or there's also Baby Bay. But perhaps the most interesting pool on this ship will be in the Hideaway neighborhood. Here is the first suspended infinity pool at sea, towering 135 feet up on the ship. There's definitely a lot of attention paid to the new features on the pool decks, but that's not all that is new on Icon. The unveiling of the renderings of the ship also see the introduction of the first AQUADOME. Taking the position of the solarium on those Oasis class ships at the front of the vessel, this spot seems like it's part solarium, part aqua theater, and part 270 theater from the Quantum class vessels. It's a large lounge with circular seating and sweeping views like you find on 270, but with translucent panels like you find in the solarium. But the centerpiece is a towering waterfall in the middle and the diving platforms that are part of the Aqua Theater shows on the ship. Another new feature, the theater will have 4 robotic arms that play a part in those performances aboard Icon of the Seas. Now, while it wasn't mentioned in the press release from the cruise line, a big emphasis on the teaser videos that Royal Caribbean has offered in the past, it has been this enormous white sphere. It's never said exactly what this is, but I had a hunch that the thousands of small movable panels would line the inside of the dome based on the previous videos, which I thought might be some sort of theater. Now, from the renderings that are released, this sphere will be a centerpiece of the promenade, with a staircase actually running through it up to a multi-deck view of the ocean and seating for the new Pearl Cafe. The renderings, they look stunning. And while I haven't heard the official name, having a white sphere next to the Pearl Cafe, it does seem to point to calling it the Pearl. Of course, there are a number of favorites on the Icon of the Seas that passengers come to expect. Specifically, with the split design of the ship, Central Park makes an appearance just like on Oasis class vessels. Now, this is one of my personal favorite spots on Oasis ships, so I'm definitely happy to see it aboard. As well, there will be Absolute Zero, which is the ice skating rink with digital projections onto the ice that's become a staple of many Royal Caribbean ships. And from the reveal, we've also learned that Icon of the Seas will home port in Miami when it starts sailing with passengers in January 2024. From there, it will cruise 7-night trips around the Caribbean and the Bahamas, including, obviously, stops in Coco Cay. And while that debut isn't for over a year, booking is available starting October 25th. And if you're a Crown and Anchor member, then you get even earlier access beginning October 24th. So if you told me that you're the sort of person that likes to sit back and relax on a cruise ship, and you want to connect to the ocean and disconnect from everything else, then yeah, I could understand that this is not the ship for you. But me personally, I'm the exact opposite. I always want something to do on the ship, and I'm not above being that grown adult hitting up the water park. I cannot wait until Icon of the Seas makes its debut. Now, there are a couple of things that I am worried about. First, it's the solarium going away. The AQUADOME, it's in the solarium's usual spot. And while I do like to have a lot to do on the cruise, I also love the solarium on Oasis class ships especially. As well, there aren't many renderings of it, but the front of the ship in the images that I have seen looks funny to me. I think Royal Caribbean, they normally have some of the best looking cruise ships around. But Icon of the Seas has a bow that's vertical instead of leaning forward. In the AQUADOME, it seems to sit on top like a big hat. Yeah, I'm not a fan so far. I'll reserve judgment until I actually see it, but it's definitely something that I am keeping my eye on. So what are your thoughts on Icon of the Seas and the big reveal? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Something in between? Let me know in the comments below. As well, be sure, like and subscribe and all those good things. And until next time, happy sailing.